Namaste to all the viewers. A great welcome to our channel, The Outlier 73, and I'm Namita, Chartered Accountant. Well, today's topic, which I've chosen for discussion, is valuation of supply between related parties. As we all are aware that value of supply under Section 15 is nothing but transaction value, that is price actually paid or payable. It is equal to transaction value only if these two conditions are satisfied. The first condition being price is the sole consideration for such supply, and second, very important condition being supplier and the recipient of such supply are not related. Let me repeat, supplier and recipient of such supply are not related. Now, if any of these conditions are not satisfied, then value of supply under Section 15 is not equal to transaction value. Now, then the question that naturally arises here is, what is the value of supply when any of these conditions is not satisfied, or more particularly when supplier and the recipient are not related? Now, in this particular video, we'll try to understand as to what is related person as per GST and what is the valuation of supply between related person. Well, definition of related person in GST is given under Section 15, subsection 5. Person shall be deemed to be related person if there are 9 categories under this, which falls under the definition of related person as per Section 15. Now, let me mention each one of them. That is, such persons are officers or directors of one another's business. In such case, they will be treated as related persons. Such persons are legally recognized partners in business. This is one more category. Another important category is such persons are employer and employee. There are certain other categories which are mainly based on the control. That is, let me mention them. Any person directly or indirectly owns, controls, or holds 25% or more of the outstanding voting stock or shares of both of them. One more which is category which is based on the control is one of them directly or indirectly controls the other, or both of them are directly or indirectly controlled by the third person. Another category is together they are directly or indirectly controlled by a third person. These categories are more specifically based on the control. The 8th one is they are the members of the same family. Members of same family will also fall under the category of related person. Last but not the least is the sole agent or the sole distributor or the sole concessionaire, howsoever it is described, shall be deemed to be related person. Let's look into a few examples which will make these concepts much clearer. The first one, let me consider the first point, that is, such persons are officers or directors of one another's business. Let me pick up this example. If, for example, Mr. X is a director of A Limited, and suppose if Mr. X is also the director of B Limited, then it implies that A Limited and B Limited are related persons. Now, moving on to the next one. Such persons are employer and employee. This will be a little simpler one. If Z is an employee of XY Limited, then it can be concluded that XY Limited and Z are related person. Moving on to the third category, that is, such persons are legally recognized partners. For example, if A, B, and C are partners of a registered partnership firm, say for example, ABC and Co., then in that case, A, B, and C, that is a partner A, partner B, and partner C are related persons. Moving on to the next category, that is family, members of family rather. Now, family as per section 2, subsection 49 of CGST Act covers spouse and children of a person and parents, grandparents, brothers and sister of the person, if and only if they are wholly or mainly dependent of the said person. Any supply between these members will also be treated as related person. Moving on to the next category, that is any person directly or indirectly owns, controls, holds 25% or more of the outstanding voting stock or shares or both. Now, let me consider an example. For example, if A holds 40% shares of P Limited, and if he also holds 30% shares of Q Limited, then since it's both are more than 25%, then it can be concluded that P Limited and Q Limited are related person. Well, the next point, that is one of them directly or indirectly controls the other. Now, for example, if S Limited is a subsidiary of H Limited, then it implies that H Limited and S Limited are related person. Let me move on to the next category, which is also based on the control, concept of control. That is, together they directly or indirectly control a third person. Now, for example, R Limited controls N Limited and also S Limited controls N Limited. Then it implies that R and S Limited are related person. Moving on to the next category, that is directly or indirectly controlled by a third person. For example, if Q Limited holds 35% of R Limited shares and S Limited holds 30% of R Limited shares, then it implies that Q Limited and S Limited are related person. Coming to the next point, that is sole agent, sole distributor, or sole concessionaire. For example, if XY Limited is the sole agent of X Limited, then in that case, it implies X and XY Limited are treated as related person. Now, the main question which arises is, as we have already dealt with the categories and examples which are treated as related person. Now, let's move on to the next important question as to which arises is what is the value of supply between these related person? Well, it is open market value. First, primarily it is open market value, and if open market value is not available, then it will be value of like kind and quality, and if both are not available, then we will have to go for rule 30 and rule 31 and rule 31. Now let us in detail discuss about each of these. Now, what is open market value? Open market value is nothing but money payable by another person for the same supply. And if open market value is not available, then value of supply will be value of supply of goods or services or both of like kind and like quality. If any of these two are not available, then we will have to refer rule 30. We'll have to go for rule 30. And what is this rule 30? And according to rule 30, value of supply will be 110% of cost of production or cost of manufacture or cost of acquisition of such goods or cost of provision of such services. And if any of these are not available, any of these three are not available, then we will have to go for rule 31. And rule 31 says that value of such supply can be identified by any reasonable means. Thank you, friends, for watching this video till the end. I kindly request you to subscribe to this channel if you have already not subscribed into it, and also request you to share it among your friends and also click on the like button. Thank you.